Another month means another release for Torque Drift 2, and we continue to make changes every single month so that Torque Drift 2 becomes an easier, more fun, accessible game for the hundreds of thousands of people that have already downloaded it. We have already over 300,000 downloads on Torque Drift 2, which is absolutely insane. We have modified tracks. You can create your own tracks. We have multiplayer. We have multiple different things that you can jump into. We've got a ton of different cars and parts, but I want to talk specifically about our newest update that we're calling the 0.8 release. And this is a big deal for me, and hopefully it is for you as well, because one of the big things that we heard from the community was that it was getting a little bit tough to play the game with the optimization that it needed to run full bore, highest quality, awesome frame rate, all that sort of good stuff. So with that being said, if you've been playing the game and you're looking for some updates on that, you're gonna wanna stay tuned for the whole video, because I have a whole bunch of stuff that we're gonna be releasing coming up very, very soon. So first things first, let's talk about game improvements. We're gonna have the improved physics come out with the 0.8. We've made a bunch of changes to how the car feels, how it interacts specifically if you're running on a sim rig, and we wanted to make sure that the physics continue to be refined and changed and optimized based on the feedback that you've given us. And we have a ton of time invested on getting a new enhanced feels, particularly with how the tires feel with the amount of power that the car has. So if you've been out there and you've been drifting and driving, especially on Hakone, this is gonna feel a pretty big difference for you, but all in the right ways. We have a big improvement that's coming in terms of optimization through the NVIDIA GeForce and what we're calling the support for DLSS. That's something that it's NVIDIA's support to improve gaming in a pretty insane way. We focused a lot of our time on making sure that these improvements kind of optimize what NVIDIA does to improve the game for you. So if you're running an NVIDIA graphics card, this is gonna be huge. So there's a few things that come into this. We have something that's gonna help you called frame generation that's gonna improve FPS. We've seen it improve FPS up to 50%, 75%, which is huge. So if you take your number, divide that by 2, add that onto the top, and you can get what the overall improvement can be just by us making some of these changes to Torque Drift 2 that will help NVIDIA's DLSS support to go even further. We also have ray construction getting added to this to help you out. What that does is it improves reflections without driving additional load from your graphics card. So that's a huge thing. There's also gonna be super resolution and what's called DLAA. This is essentially a bunch of acronyms, but for like the everyday gamer, what this means is it's gonna help with resolution at depth. The whole point of this is that NVIDIA has a bunch of tools that essentially say, hey, give us a game, give it to us in the right way, and we will help field the load from the game to the player without it actually taking an increased workload. So it kind of uses a bunch of AI and a bunch of technology to make that happen for you so that you can get a really smooth gaming experience. So Torque Drift 2 and the whole team behind the scenes have been focusing a lot on building the game so that NVIDIA can take it and optimize it for your platform so that you don't need to be running a brand new graphics card to get everything that you need out of Torque Drift 2. And that's a very big deal for a lot of people that we heard on the internet. That also comes with the improved physics, so you're just gonna get an overall better feel when you hop into Torque Drift 2, which is still a free-to-play early access game that you can download over on the Epic Games Store. You're gonna see an updated driving UI as well come out with the release, which is a really big deal. We've heard some changes on some of the things that you wanted to see on that, and we're making those changes as well. Some freebies for those that have been continuing to play the game. So we do try to give back in some way, and whether you're keeping things or we're handing out certain things if you've been playing the game. So if you hear new stuff getting released, don't give it a shot, because a lot of times we keep track of who tries it out and then we send them some free stuff. So the Adam LZ compound keychain will be given to those who participated in the free play of the compound. If you guys didn't know, that was a temporary thing to get you guys out there to go enjoy it. If you did, you're gonna get a keychain that's gonna allow you access to play the LZ compound at any time. And if you didn't have a chance to do that, that is now going to be something that you have to purchase. You do also have multiplayer support for modding that's coming out, which is absolutely huge. The multiplayer component of Torque Drift 2 is where I have personally spent most of my time playing the game, because it is a ton of fun to slide around with friends. Way more fun personally than just sliding around solo, but that's just my opinion. And we wanted to make sure that we continue to make improvements for that. So as you can slide around with your friends, now it's supportable for modding. We've got new cars coming to the game as well. We've got new options for the Nissan 350Z, the RX-7, the FC generation, the Nissan 2000 GT Hakosuka, the Toyota GR86, Let's go! Finally, our own car is finally in the game. The Mazda MX-5, because you gotta have a Miata in there, and then the Mark V Toyota Supra are all gonna be cars that are gonna be available in the game. So we've got a lot of expansion into Toyota, Nissan, and Mazda still. Now, new parts that are gonna be available for Wishlist, we're actually going into all new categories. So you saw when you were going in there and modifying your car, some things were still not available. And that's because we're working on getting them released every single day. We got gearbox, angle kit, and differentials all coming to the game as well, which will not only just have an aesthetic improvement in the game, but they're also going to have a performance difference with the car. So it's going to be huge to get your feedback on that as we start to release those parts. For brands, we have 2 new brands coming to the release, Grip Royal and Status Racing Seats. For those that don't know, Grip Royal is actually the steering wheel that we're throwing in the GR86, and Status Racing Seats are a fantastic seat brand that they do custom stuff all the way down pretty much to the stitching if you wanted to. They're both absolutely fantastic partners, and you're going to be able to modify your car with those parts in the game if you want to. But that doesn't go into saying that if you have a car all around the globe and you're looking for somebody to help you, if you're located in pretty much any country, shop.torquemotorsport.io has a whole laundry list of parts that you'd be able to buy so you can modify your car in the real world. And then if you want to drift while you're waiting for the snow to melt, you can do that with Torque Drift 2 in a free-to-play game. So that is the update that's coming for 0.8. So you're gonna wanna go get that thing updated. Tell us how it feels, tell us your experience, and of course get ready because 0.9 is gonna get even crazier with more car parts, more games, more tracks, and everything in between. And for those that continue to support us, thank you so much. We know that this is a very difficult thing and we're doing things differently, which means not everybody can really stay. Some people think that it should just be like everything else, and we just don't think that's the way that we're gonna do it with Torque Drift 2. So if you have any feedback after you've played the game, please let us know in the comment section below. A lot of the feedback that we're releasing for 0.8 comes from you, so it means absolutely everything. Hopefully you subscribe, and of course, I'm Alex Lambertini with 2 underscores, and we'll see you on the next one. Adios.